Hello there and welcome to yet another video. In this video, we are going to demonstrate how to install KVM on Ubuntu 24.04. And towards the tail end of this video, we'll also demonstrate how you can create a virtual machine once the installation of KVM is complete. Now, KVM is an acronym for Kernel-based Virtual Machine, and this is an open source virtualization technology that is integrated into the Linux kernel. KVM allows users to create and run multiple guest machines, which can either be Windows or Linux. Now, to get started, ensure you have the following prerequisites. So first, ensure you have Ubuntu 24.04 already installed. So we have our instance here, all right? And just to confirm, I'm going to run the command cat etc os release. So you can see we are running Ubuntu 24.04. So the other thing you need is that you need at least 2 vCPUs, 4 GB of RAM, and a stable internet connectivity. All right. Now with the prerequisites out of the way, now let's get started with the installation. So first, ensure that your local package index is updated, and to do so, run the command sudo apt update and hit enter. So this will refresh the local cache, and as you can see, we are done. All right. Now, the next step is to ensure that virtualization is enabled. So you can check for if virtualization is enabled using the following command. So you can run the command egrep with -c flag like that. Okay. Then here you can search for either VMX, this is for Intel processors, okay? Or you can search for SVM for AMD processors, all right? So I'm going to close the parentheses, all right? Then I'm going to search in the proc cpuinfo file, okay? So I'm gonna hit enter. So here we get the output 8. So if you get an output that is greater than 0, know that virtualization is enabled. So here we have 8, and we have confirmed that virtualization is enabled. So the other way of confirming if virtualization is enabled is by running the command kvm-ok. Okay, so if this is a fresh system, you're going to see this error, and you're going to be informed that you need to install the CPU checker package. All right, so that is what you're going to do exactly. So run the command sudo apt install CPU checker like that. All right, so here there is a hyphen, so CPU checker, then hit enter. So this is going to install all the tools required to run the kvm-ok command. All right, so we are done. Let me clear the screen. Okay, so as you've mentioned, you can also check if virtualization is enabled by running the command kvm-ok like that. So as you can see, the output informs us that KVM acceleration can be used. All right, so we have confirmed that our system is good and for virtualization, and we can go ahead and install KVM. All right, so now I'm going to clear the screen again. Now in the third step, we are going to install KVM using the following command: sudo apt install. So here the first package is qemu-kvm. all right, then virt-manager. Don't worry, I'm going to explain what these are. All right, then libvirt-daemon-system, then virt-inst, then libvirt-clients. All right, then bridge-utils, -utils, All right. Okay, so these are the packages that are needed by kvm. All right, so at this point I'm going to hit enter. So I'm going to hit enter. So here I'll be prompted to proceed with the installation. So I'm just going to type Y and hit enter. So this might take some time. So just give it a minute or so for the installation to proceed. All right. So at this moment, I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back when the installation is complete. And there we go. So we have managed to install all the packages required for kvm to function. So let me clear the screen. Okay. All right, so let's review the command once more. So this is the command we ran earlier on. All right, so let's review what these packages are and what they do. So the first package here is qemu-kvm. So this is an open source emulator and virtualization package that provides the hardware emulation. All right, next we have the virt-manager here. So virt-manager is a graphical interface that helps you to manage virtual machines, all right, using the libvirt-daemon. And this one here, the libvirt-daemon, all right, package. So this is the package that provides the configuration files that are required to run the libvirt-daemon, all right. So next, here we have the virtinst. So this is a set of command line utilities for provisioning and modifying virtual machine, all right. Then we have the libvirt-clients. So this is a set of it's a set of client-side libraries and APIs that are used for managing and controlling virtual machines and hypervisors from the command line. Okay, then finally we have bridge-utils. So bridge-utils is a set of tools that allows you to create and manage bridge devices. All right, so I'm just going to press Ctrl+C to cancel out since we have already installed the packages. All right, so now I'm going to start and enable the virtualization daemon. All right, and to do so, run the command sudo systemctl enable the double hyphen now libvirtd. Okay, so libvirtd is the virtualization daemon as I've just explained. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now to start it, run the command sudo systemctl start libvirtd and hit enter. Okay, now we're going to check whether the libvirt-d daemon is running, and to do so I'm simply going to say sudo systemctl. So this time around I'll check the status like that and I'm going to hit enter. So on your screen we can see that the kvm daemon is active and running. All right, so this is good news, and it means that we can now proceed with installing the kvm. All right, or rather we can now go ahead and start creating virtual machines. All right, now one other thing we need to do is to add the currently logged in user to the kvm and libvirt groups so that you can create and manage virtual machines without any problem. Okay, so now what you're going to do, we're going to add the currently logged in user, which is Linux Techie, to the kvm group, and to do so simply use the user mode command like this. So sudo user mode -a with a capital G. All right, so here we are adding the currently logged in user to the kvm group. Okay, so this is the command for adding the currently logged in user, which is defined with a $sign user variable to the kvm group. So just hit enter. All right, then still on the same, we are going to add the currently logged in user to the libvirt-daemon group. Okay, so run sudo user mode -a-g. Then we are adding the user to the libvirt-daemon like that. Okay, and hit enter. And you can confirm this by running the command groups, then the user in my case, this is Linux Techie. Okay, so you can see the user belongs to several groups, and among them is kvm and libvirt-d. Okay, all right. So now let me clear the screen. Now, if you're planning to access the KVM virtual machines outside your Ubuntu 24.04 system, then you need to map the VM's interface to a network bridge. So in this section, we are going to see how to create a bridge interface, and this will allow you to communicate, or will allow the access of the virtual machine externally to other systems. All right. So now to do so, you need to create a YAML configuration file, which you're going to see shortly. So now I'm going to create the YAML file. So I'm going to use the nano text editor, and I'll create this in the netplan directory, as you can see. So I'm going to call the YAML file, let's say 01 net config.yaml, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna hit enter. So this is how the YAML file looks like. So I'm going to copy these lines of code, and I'm going to include this in the description. So I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it here. So as you can see, we are using network manager as our renderer. Okay, so ENS33, that's my active network interface. Okay, so we have disabled DHCP for IPv4 and IPv6. All right, so we are creating a bridge called BR0. Okay, and we have specified the interface as ENS33. So we are using our active network interface as the bridge interface. All right, so this is the IP address and CIDR for the bridge interface. So here we have specified 192.168.2.130. so make sure that this corresponds to your network addressing scheme. So in my network, this is my network addressing scheme. Okay, and this is the default gateway 192.168.2.12. so this is the IP address of my router. Okay, and here below we have the name servers. So I've specified Google's DNS as my preferred name server. All right, so basically this is how the configuration for the bridge network looks like. All right, so now I'm going to save this. So I'm going to press Ctrl O, and I'll be prompted to write the changes. So I'm going to hit enter, and to exit I'm going to press Ctrl X. All right, so I have successfully defined the bridge network configuration. Okay, so now to apply the changes, I'm going to run the command sudo netplan apply, like that. All right, so hit enter. All right, so you might see such a notification that permissions for the YAML file are to open. All right, so now what you need to do, you are going to clear the screen. So we are going to head back to the netplan directory, and I'm going to run cd/etc netplan. All right, so these are the configuration files. So I'm going to use the chmod command, like that, chmod. Then I'm going to assign the permission of 600. All right, so what this means is that only the owner of the file can read and write. All right, and the group and other users do not have any permissions. So I'm going to grant these permissions to the YAML files, like that. Okay, then I'm going to hit enter. So there is a dot here, so I'm going to grant this permission to all the YAML files. All right, then I'm going to repeat the command. So I'm going to run sudo netplan apply, then I'm going to hit enter. All right, so as you can see, our changes have applied. All right, now I'm going to go back to the home directory and clear the screen. So one thing you'll notice is that the active network interface icon here will disappear, and the reason for this is because now our bridge interface has taken effect. All right, so now let's check our IP configuration. So I'm going to run the command IP address and hit enter. So here you can see our active interface is ENS33. So at this time it has no active IP address, and instead we have the bridge network here, BR0, which has been assigned the IP address 192.168.2.130. So this is the bridge network that will allow you to access the virtual machines. So let's ping the bridge interface and see. So I'm going to run ping-3 192.168.2.130, hit enter, and as you can see we are getting a positive ping response. All right, so I'm going to clear the screen. Okay, so now that we have the bridge interface configured and active, the next step is to launch the kvm virtual machines manager, and to do so just simply run the command sudo virt-manager like that on the screen and hit enter. So on your screen you'll get this graphical interface for the virtual machine manager. All right, so this is where we are. Okay, so this will allow us to now create virtual machines. So now I'm going to demonstrate how you can create a virtual machine. So to get started with creating a virtual machine, you can come here, click on File, then select New Virtual Machine. All right. Alternatively, you can just right click here and select New. So once you do that, you'll see this virtual machine wizard here that allows you to create a virtual machine. So here you'll see a list of options. All right, so I have already downloaded an ISO image for Ubuntu for Debian 12. Okay, so I'm going to go with this option. All right, so I'm going to click forward. So here I'm prompted to select the ISO image, so I'm going to click on browse. All right, then I'm going to head over to browse local. So this will allow me to navigate to where I have downloaded the ISO image. So I have it in my downloads folder. So here is the ISO image for Debian 12. All right, so I'm going to select open. So as you can see, the ISO image path has been selected. So ensure that this is the same for your case. And here you can see the operating system has automatically been detected. So I'm going to click forward. So here you might see this notification that the emulator may not have such permissions for the path to the ISO image. So to correct this, I'm going to click yes to give it permissions. So I'm going to select yes. So here you're going to choose your memory and CPU settings. So I'm going to leave this by default. So I'm going to leave this the way they are. And I'm going to click forward. Otherwise, if your system has more resources, you can add more memory and CPU. So for here, I'm going to click forward. So in this step, you're going to adjust the disk image size for the virtual machine. So once again, I'm going to leave this default since I'm already satisfied with the selections. So I'm going to click forward. And here you're going to specify the name for your virtual machine. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. All right, so you're going to get also the memory, the CPUs here for the network selection. You can see that it's using the bridge device. All right, okay, so you can see the virtual machine is already using the bridge network, which we have just created. So here I'm going to click finish, and as you can see, the creation of the virtual machine is underway. All right, and here we go. So as you can see, this is the Debian 12 installation page or pop-up. So as you can see, this is what you would see when you're installing Debian 12. And as you can see, we have a list of options, and the first one is graphical install. So I'm going to hit enter. So what you're going to do, you're just going to continue with the installation. So at this point, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go all the way until Debian 12 is installed. And once installed, we are going to see whether we can access the system. We're going to see whether we can connect to the system using the IP address, all right, to test whether the bridge network is working or not. So at this point, we have successfully installed kvm, and we have also created a virtual machine. So I'm going to pause the video this moment and continue all the way until Debian 12 is installed. So finally, the installation of Debian 12 VM is complete. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click continue to reboot the virtual machine so that I can log into it. So I'm going to pause the video once again, and I'll join you shortly once I've successfully logged into the Debian 12 virtual machine. So the virtual machine has successfully rebooted. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on user, and I'm going to provide the password. Okay. So this will usher us into the Debian 12 desktop background, as you shall see shortly. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so now our point of concern is to check whether the virtual machine has the correct IP address and whether we can reach it from our host system. So here I'm going to just complete the wizard by clicking next. So I'll skip this and click start using Debian. Okay, so now I'm going to go to activities, then I'm going to search for terminal. Okay, all right, so here we are. So I'm going to check the IP address by running the command IP address like that. Okay, so as you can see, we have the loopback address and we have the active network interface, which is ENP1S0. So as you can see, this is our IPv4 address. So in our case, we have 192.168.2.107 as the IP address of the virtual machine. So we are going to check whether we can access this from the Ubuntu host system. So once again, I'm going back to the terminal here, and I'm going to clear the screen. So I'm going to attempt to ping the virtual machine. So I'm going to run the ping command as follows. So 192.168.2.107. Then I'm going to hit enter, and there you see we can access the virtual machine externally, and it can also be accessed by any other system within the local area network. All right, so that's it guys for this lecture. So in this lecture I demonstrated how to install kvm on Ubuntu 24.04, and we have also seen how you can create and run a virtual machine. All right, so that's it guys for this video. I hope you found it insightful. So please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more of these videos. So for us, it's bye bye and see you in the next lecture.